Mm. What up, YouTube Live? Are we on? Are we on? Yes, we're on. All right, how's it going, everybody? Today is Thursday, December 27th, 2018. And since there's no Rockin' It with Rama Screen Live episode airing this Sunday, um, when the news hits the web, I want to give it to you, in my opinion, right away. So that's why I'm going live stream right now, because there's something big that happened in the web or on the news. Reminder before we get to the topic that Rockin' It with Rama Screen Live will return on Sunday, January 13th. That's Sunday, January 13th, at the same time, 3 p.m. Pacific time, at the same channel, this channel, youtube.com/Ramascreen1. That's youtube.com/Ramascreen1. The reason being because January 6th is the Golden Globes Awards. So we can't have our show during the Golden Globes Awards. All the attention will be on that. And of course, I will be going live also that same evening of the Golden Globes, right after the ceremony, to give you my reaction to the winners that are going to be announced that evening. So yeah, January 13th is when Rockin' It with Rama Screen Live will return. All right. Um by the way, Rama Screen is also available now on audio. So the link is in the description box below this video. Please, 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 if you want to listen to Rama Screen reviews, interviews, discussions, and the weekly show on audio, you can now do so. Just go to iTunes Store and search for Rama Screen Podcast and download it there. Okay. So what is so important that I need to go live right now or today, as we about to end the year 2018? Well, the podcast Playback, it's a very popular podcast by Variety and iHeartRadio, and I think it's celebrated its 100th episode. Yeah, it's been around for quite some time, and it celebrated its 100th episode by having Marvel Studios head honcho Kevin Feige on their show. And boy, oh boy, he revealed some juicy stuff, man. Most of the stuff that he talks about on this playback podcast is about the 10th anniversary of Marvel Studios, with the first Iron Man movie back in 2008. It's been 10 years now, and 10 years of great MCU movies, one after the next. You'll be blown away in the cinema, and how it pretty much redefines or reshapes what's called cinematic universe. Like that every other studio tries to copy it. But sometimes they fail. Like, for example, Universal with their Dark Universe, and of course, MCU also has an agreement with Sony Pictures, so they kind of share Spider-Man or between them two. So now, as we look forward to 2019, which is the 11th year of Marvel's cinematic universe, what's on the horizon? Well, as you know, Captain Marvel is coming up in March, and also Avengers Endgame in the summer of 2019. So there are those two big ones that you can anticipate, and I'm sure those two movies will also feature the late great Stan Lee in his final cameo appearances. So there's something we look forward to. But so here's the juicy stuff that Kevin Feige shared on Playback Podcast. As you all know, Disney will officially soon own 20th Century Fox film assets and the TV assets. Disney won't be owning. Disney will not own, Fox News or Fox Business Network or Fox Sports. Those things will come together as its own News Fox unit. But Disney will acquire the film assets and the TV assets of 20th Century Fox. Well, if you want to be politically correct about it, the head company is 21st Century Fox. But anyway, soon that will happen. I heard that's gonna really be official by January 2019, so by next month. And for those of you wondering, okay, what will this merger mean, or what will this acquisition do to some of your favorite Fox's Marvel properties like Deadpool, Wolverine, and Fantastic Four, and X-Men, of course. Well, there's no answer yet as to whether or not they will reboot Logan, or that Deadpool will get Disneyfied and Deadpool will be PG-13. There's no news about that yet. That is something that I'm fearing about, because I don't want my Deadpool watered down, just to appease Disney fans. Um, but here's an update regarding X-Men and Fantastic Four. And I'm quoting here from Variety Playback podcast. And Kevin Feige said, basically, Kevin Feige suggested that right now, well, he first revealed that right now he's not allowed, he doesn't have the official green light to put his hand in that cookie jar just yet. He doesn't have the green light yet, or the permission to actually start digging or developing the stories for the new X-Men and Fantastic Four movies. But that is expected to start, that digging, that putting the hand in the cookie jar, that developing story part, that is expected to begin in the first half of 2019. So this is what Kevin Feige says, and I quote: "We've been told it's looking very, very, very good, and it could happen in the first 6 months of next year. The notion of the characters coming back is great. It's nice when a company that created all these characters can have access to all those characters. It's unusual, uh, but in terms of actually thinking about it and actually planning things, we haven't started yet." So that's the juicy tidbit that's gonna start, or he expects it to start, in the first 6 months of 2019. Now, again, right now, at this moment, at this minute, he does not have the green light to develop the stories, nor to fully use X-Men or Fantastic Four characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he's not allowed to even, like, oh look, freaking a cameo by Mr. Fantastic in the whatever, in Captain Marvel movie, or the Agents of Shield series. No, nothing of that. He's not allowed. As a matter of fact, I think IndieWire that says, I read on IndieWire that, um, because they're going to develop the stories in the first half of 2019, um, we might see the characters as officially part of the MCU probably by 2020. Whether it's a crossover, where they appear in some other MCU movie, or their own standalone X-Men and Fantastic Four movies. So by 2020 is probably what we're seeing at right now. But the planning stages, developing potential stories for the characters, might happen again in the next 6 months of 2019. Now, this also means that 20th Century Fox upcoming X-Men movies, which includes Dark Phoenix, featuring the usual suspects, the usual stars, Jennifer Lawrence and James McAvoy and Sophie Turner. That movie will be, I think, no, that movie and the other one, the New Mutants. Remember that the New Mutants was supposed to be released this past year, but it got pushed back to 2019, giving them some time to reshoot and make sure fine tune everything. So the New Mutants, which is about the lesser known X-Men characters or mutant characters. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna be R-rated. It's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. They're in this asylum thing. So the New Mutants and Dark Phoenix will mark those two movies will be 20th Century Fox's final distributed X-Men movies. So yeah, there's a lot to break down about this comment, and I want to share you also about his other comments regarding the success of Marvel Studios so far. Um, as you all know, I've mentioned this to you before, time and time again. Ever since Disney was planning to acquire Fox, I'm not happy about it. I'm probably the only I don't know, Disney fan or movie fan who's not really stoked about this the idea of Disney owning Fox. I mean, 20th Century Fox is one of like the classic, one of the most classic, beloved movie studios in Hollywood. Um, it just saddens me that it's not gonna be the case anymore. It's gonna be absorbed by Disney. Number two, I'm saddened because in any merger or in any acquisition, you know what usually happens, right? It usually means that there's going to be huge layoffs, and that sucks. That really really sucks because they're going to start like streamlining, you know, both companies into one. That means they might cut certain aspects of this or certain departments. They're going to cut this, make make sure everything could merge into just one body, and that means they're going to have to release certain workforce. And that saddens me whenever I hear people getting fired or getting layoffs or getting let go. That's never a good news, man. It's I feel like the workers at the 20th Century Fox right now are very nervous, and nervousness is not something you should be feeling during the holiday season. During the end of the year, you should be celebrating. Instead, you should be feeling happy and getting bonus payment, whatever. But right now they're worried about their jobs, and that's not cool. And number three, why I'm not happy about Disney owning Fox is that, dude, why the look? Okay, I'm a big fan of capitalism. I'm not gonna be hypocritical with you guys. I'm gonna be honest here. If if another bigger blogger or another bigger entertainment news site and bigger, a movie podcast site, whatever, if they end up acquiring Rama Screen or offering me a good bid for Rama Screen site and the channel, I'll be like, yeah, fine. Let's shake on it. If I agree to the terms and the numbers. So the idea of acquisition and merger thing, that's not something I'm against generally, because I think that is a normal thing that happens in capitalism. But what's not healthy for capitalism is that when one entity control everything. Obviously Disney does not control the whole world, but my god, Disney keeps buying things, this left and right. it it's not healthy when your source of media or your source for news or opinions and whatnot, or source of entertainment, only comes from just one. I'm a big believer in having variety, different choices, variety of companies, variety of creative choices. um the idea of just one controlling everything, it's kind of scary too. What if part of that company decides to like voice certain things, or be creative about certain things that are not aligned with the principles or the values of the umbrella or the head, and they'll be like, they're gonna be crushed. They'll be like, no, you gotta fall in line. I own your ass. So I really don't like the idea of this monopoly thing. There's just too many consolidation, too much control over one control under one entity, where it's supposed to be a country of different variety of things. um so that's just my principal take on it. So I'm not happy, but for those 3 4 reasons that I just mentioned to you. But it is going to happen anyway. um wi- do I think that Disney or MCU or Marvel Studios, do I think that they're gonna do X-Men and Fantastic Four characters justice? Yeah, I think I do. I mean, I do. I really do. Um, so long as you know the same game is being played, whereas Disney just lets Marvel Studios do their thing, and then Disney distributes their films. As long as Kevin Feige gets like freedom of creativity, Kevin Feige and his people, I think we're gonna get some pretty cool X-Men and Fantastic Four movies, especially Fantastic Four, because man, they still haven't cracked that one, man. The version with Jessica Alba and then the version with Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan was so shitty. It's like it got to the point where a lot of fans thought like, oh, maybe Fantastic Four is one property that should just stay on the pages, that should never be adapted to the big screen. Um, but you'll never know. Maybe under the creative direction of Marvel Studios, we might get for the very first time an actual decent Fantastic Four movie. So that is something that I'm not against. I'm actually, if you can make it a good one, I'm all for it. I'm a huge fan of Marvel Studios, and I'm segueing in now to the 10th anniversary. I think my favorite ones are Captain America: Civil War, Captain America: Winter Soldier, um, and of course, it got to a point where I feel like Marvel can do no wrong. The thing is with Marvel Studios is that they've mapped it out. They've mapped out the whole phases thing. Phase one, two, three, and that's the weakness on the WBDC part. They don't know how to think that big, and they think they're like, oh, we got this down, but no, you really don't. Marvel actually already put some thoughts into each of the movies. Obviously, I'm not saying, you know what, I gotta take that back when I said that Marvel can do no wrong, because Thor Ragnarok was terrible. I hated Thor Ragnarok. I'm sorry, you guys. If you guys like Thor Ragnarok, that's fine, but I agree to disagree. So there will be a couple of movies where Marvel kind of fumbled a little bit, but overall, in the bigger picture, they've been doing so far so great in the 10 years, and I mean, Black Panther, holy crap, Black Panther right now is even, it's even discussed by critics and voters everywhere as potential, Oscar worthy films. It's getting nominated left and right for this awards, that award. So I mean, who'd have thunk it, man? Black Panther. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Let me see here. Let me give you some quotes that Kevin Feige gave in regards to the 10 years anniversary of Marvel Cinematic Universe. As I'm closing this live stream video. And I quote, Kevin Feige says this, and I quote, "It's surreal. In one way, it's incredibly satisfying. In the other way, it's nearly unbelievable from where we started. There were days when I wasn't sure we would be able to get Iron Man in theaters. There were days when I thought Avengers was a pipe dream. And there were days after the Avengers where I thought, well, where do we go?" And then he also praised director Ryan Coogler about what Black Panther has achieved so far, and it's been really, really monumental. And Kevin Feige says this, and I quote, "With what Ryan was doing, what he had to say, and vouching for crew members that we had not worked with before, but he believed in. He came in and blew us away with initial sort of presentations to get the job. For them to have stepped up and knocked it out of the park the way they did is incredible. It comes down to a filmmaker who has such a deft hand at being able to balance something that is going to have entertainment value with being true to his soul and being true to the questions he had growing up." So, to wrap this up, that's good. That's a fantastic comment. So if that approach is applied to how they deal or to how they develop stories for X-Men and Fantastic Four and how they hire the filmmakers for those two movies, then I'm all for it. Because from the sound of that statement, it seems like Kevin Feige is not one of those like, oh, you can't do that or you can't do this. Oh, and then he would, it's like, we're only gonna give you, Ryan, this much or this limited freedom, but the rest will have to go according to my vision. No. Kevin Feige is not that kind of guy. So, and that's a good thing. Um, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there were some cases in other MCU movies in the past where Kevin Feige did kind of micromanage a little bit. But if that approach that he gave to Ryan Coogler for Black Panther, if he gave that same um I guess treatment or freedom for whoever they're gonna hire for X-Men and Fantastic Four, I think we are gonna be in for two great movies and definitely the first decent Fantastic Four movie. And so that'll be the upside of Disney owning Fox. The rest, I'm not. I'm gonna be. It's gonna be like approach with caution because remember Disney owns not just Fox Films but also Fox's TV stuff. So Disney is gonna own FX Network. Disney's gonna own National Geographic Partners, and Disney even Disney is even gonna own. They're even gonna own Fox's 30% stake in Hulu, and so there's a lot that can go right or wrong there. So we'll see about it. Right now, I'm only take comfort in knowing that maybe, just maybe, you know, Kevin Feige can finally give us a decent Fantastic Four movie. Man, the last one was so shitty. Do you remember that? I think director Josh Trank even had like heated arguments with Fox executives over the story for Fantastic Four, the 2015 movie. It ended up being a shitty film, man. It was so incoherent. The editing was choppy. It was so dark and gloomy. I didn't understand much of the plot either. I mean, and none of the characters are likable when they're supposed to be likable. So if there is one Marvel property that is desperate for um a retouch by Marvel Studios, a retouch, if you will. I can't think of other word for it, or revision. If there's one that's desperate for it, that is Fantastic Four. So that's it. That's me sharing you the news of the day. What do you think? Let me know what your thoughts is about this. The fact that they're gonna develop Fantastic Four and X-Men movies, or the stories at least, in the first half of 2019. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you can help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this.